I love what you said. What do I do to fill my cup? Because I can't, if I allow my mind, and I know that you'll relate to this, if I allow my mind to just do what it does, I will be
no good can come of that.
None, zip, zero, zilch, like not productive, not helpful.
But that's a really good point, because I think in entrepreneurship, one of the things I have learned versus corporate, versus having a job. And we're talking, we had very good careers and very good situations. We were very accomplished. However, one of the things I know about entrepreneurship is how much more intention is required around everything. Right?
Yeah. Say that again.
Right? You can't do this in reaction mode.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times at work and corporate, you're in reaction mode because someone else has laid the path, someone else has done the thing, and you're doing as best you can in that path. Right. But as an entrepreneur, you have to be in intention all the time.
Hi, I'm Erin Marcus, former corporate executive turned entrepreneur and founder and CEO of Conquer Your Business. Welcome to the Ready Yet podcast. We're excited to bring you more than 100 episodes of interviews and insights designed to help entrepreneurs get the financial and emotional freedom they need in order to build a business and a life they're proud of.
Welcome to this episode of the Ready Yet podcast. We could have been recording for the last hour, as my guest and I today have shared what I'm calling the summer of trauma and all sorts of stories about what it takes. What does it take? Who do you need to be in order to be a successful entrepreneur, and how that journey is so unorganized and so messy, no matter how hard you try. But here's the deal. So today I want to welcome Nicole Broadhurst to my platform, because I met Nicole in a program that I'm involved in, and we actually know, because I didn't realize you were in the program, and I came and spoke at the conference you were attending, and you came running up to me and you knew some of the references that I made and were like, oh my God, it's one of me, it's one of my people's. And so we've just gone on from there. So before we get into what's only going to be a comical conversation of the living hell that is entrepreneurship, why don't you give everybody a little bit of a more formal introduction of who you are and what you do? Then we can talk about why we do any of this.
I know. Well, if we knew that. Anyway, hi, Erin. Super excited to be here with you. I always enjoy our conversation. So I'm super excited that we have the opportunity to record this one. My name is Nicole Broadhurst. I'm a former healthcare administrator turned independent patient advocate. I help patients and families maintain work-life balance without the frustration of medical billing departments. So I manage medical bills. That's what I do.
And so here's why I particularly love the field that you're in. My corporate background was in long-term care insurance. My first venture into entrepreneurship was in the franchise world, working with families with aging parents, and you just get immersed in the chaos that is that part of someone's life. I have a litany of medical issues and situations we could go on about, but the billing, all of those things are unfortunately horrific to navigate, even if you're smart, even if you're organized, even if you have your ducks in a row. So I do have a particular fondness for what it is that you help people do.
Yeah, I feel like that lift is so helpful, because I feel like it's ethically wrong for us as a society to burden people with the financial stress and frustration while they're trying to be physically healthy.
Right.
And so I love doing that.
So question, you mentioned what you did before and what you did now. Why did you decide to, take that jump off the cliff into entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So it's funny that you asked that. I actually started thinking about entrepreneurship about 20 years before I actually did it.
Okay. In my defense, it only took me 2. I don't know.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I do not come from an entrepreneurial world. When I think about growing up and my exposure, I was not exposed to anyone that owned their own business, did their own thing. I grew up in a very blue collar, factory oriented community. And so really I was in my mid to late 20s before it even occurred to me that, well, maybe I could do something like that, and then there was all of the logistics of life. I was a single mom and I had to, all of the things, and it just, the timing didn't work out until later. But it was there and it was a planted seed. And quite frankly, what actually ended up happening was I'd been thinking about this for a long time. And I knew that I could stay in my role, make, good money, and continue to bang my forehead on a brick wall. Or I could, and I know you've heard this, like the pain of staying the same finally became greater than the pain of the unknown, right? Like I was just like, okay, this sucks. And it sucks so bad. It can't. That's right. I cannot do this one more day. I remember the day I came home from work and was in tears. And I said to my husband, I said, I can't do this anymore. And at the time, there was a new regulation in healthcare in the state that I was in. And I knew that as an administrator, there was no way that I could enforce compliance in my agency.
We had that in Illinois where different rules came down that the hospitals were like, there's no way to do this.
Right. It's just impossible. And so when I came home from work that day, I said, it just takes the AG, the Attorney General, right? The Attorney General, just one, like, I'm going to make an example and I'm going to throw the dart, and wherever it lands, that's who I'm going to make an example of. And I had been in the industry a long time and I had a great reputation and I was good at what I did. And that threat was terrifying, because if my agency came up, I was it. I was the target. And I just decided it was too risky for me. And I would rather step over here into entrepreneurship, having no idea what that really meant.
One of my things I hold very, very true is how grateful I am that I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right.
Because if I knew it, I don't know that I ever would have tried.
I think you're onto something here.
I'm not that dumb, right? If I knew ahead of time what was going to happen, I probably wouldn't have done it, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I was very grateful that I just didn't know.
Right. Yeah. So I just don't know. Like now, like it's just,
now
this is what
late.
I do. Right.
It's too late.
I'm in it. It's here.
I'm completely unemployable. I listened to other people talk about work and went, I can't do that.
Yeah, no, I can't do that anymore. Yeah. I love, and I think a lot of it is too, right? We get to do the things that we love. Like at the core of what I get to do every day, right? In the core of what we do, what I do every day, I love what I do, right? I love the moments where I get, oh my gosh, I got an email this morning from a client that said, OMG, thank you. This was the best money I've ever spent.
Right.
Okay.
And it's not that, and I got great accolades in my corporate job.
Sure.
But I think there's just something different. One of the reasons I left corporate, I mean, I knew there was something more out there for me. I was restless, probably age related, but I felt like I was getting too far removed from making a difference. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. The only word that ever comes to mind is contrived. That I worked with amazing people. I got really to have some amazing experiences. But at the end of the day, the work was created just to have more work. And I felt too far removed from having an impact on it for anybody.
Right. And in that one-on-one I love what you said, that
in a
direct impact
way.
Yeah. I agree. There were times, I think back when I first started thinking about doing this work and how it came to me because I got to spend time with families in my office in an intimate conversational way. And, since you mentioned that, I'm like, yeah, because when I left corporate, I didn't have any families coming in to talk to me. You know what I mean? Like when you said that, I was like, yes, that was
the farther you move up the ladder, the more removed you are from the outcome of what you're doing.
Yeah. And not where, yes. So I couldn't agree with that more. Like, that there is that.
So did you have a plan? You came home? I did not. I thought I had a plan. Having a plan and thinking you have a plan to completely different. Right. But, I talked to people who I saved for 2 years and I worked part-time and I did the opposite. I'm like, I'm out.
Right. So yeah, so great question. Yeah. So I want to say, oh yeah, I planned, but I didn't. You know what I really did when I quit, when I gave my notice and I quit working, I went on this, I called it my sabbatical. I went 6 months.
It sounds so much better than unemployed.
That's right. Don't tell all the secrets, Erin.
I quit my job and I don't have a job.
Right. So I'm a sabbatical. That's right. It's a sabbatical. But what I did, I actually spent time in art therapy. And I worked with latex paints and I did paint pouring and I did mixed media art. I was terrible at it. I won't even show you anything that I did. But I was just so burnt in everything that I just couldn't do anything. I crocheted. I learned to crochet.
You want to hear? That's awesome. You want to hear my version of what happened?
Yes, I do.
Same, but completely different. So I did leave corporate having purchased a franchise.
Nice.
But I was so overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
and lost that I knew I needed to do something unrelated to anything that I had ever done as a complete break. Something that would not allow my mind to wander while doing it, because I was already not sleeping. I was already on overdrive. So at 40 years old, I decided to learn how to become a figure skater.
Are you serious?
Swear to God.
Wow. I thought my art was kind of crazy.
By the end of that year, I had flown across the country to compete in an adult, where I won a blue ribbon, first place in an adult skating competition.
This is fantastic.
With a 90-second choreographed routine.
Oh my gosh.
Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. That's it. That's what I did. That was my bridge. I will tell you, when you're already 40 years old, you can't not concentrate on your feet because you're going to die. But there was no way my mind was wandering.
Oh my God, that is great.
Because it was what you did was extremely therapeutic. What I did was just asinine. I mean,
no, I think it was cool. I think it's a testament to
what I have a video.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
I have a really cute picture.
Oh,
I did the sprinkles and the scrunchie and the hair.
The whole 9 yards. You did it all.
9 yards. I velvet out. Yeah.
I think that is so wonderful. And I think it's a huge testament to allowing us to create that bridge, because it's really important, right? Yeah. I mean, I found that I look back on it and I look at this bookmark thing that I did, or look at this, look at this little thing that I did. But I tell you, it really did allow me to to prepare my mind and everything for entrepreneurship, like to actually make that change.
And, I talk about it now as, what do you do to fill your cup? I volunteer on Fridays at a wildlife rescue.
Yeah.
Now I'm more intentionally filling my cup. I understand more now. What I did by accident was do something that let my mind stop. Right.
Yeah.
That recovery.
Yes.
I mean, I just scared the crap out of myself in a completely different way, but hey, it's me.
But it served the purpose.
It served a purpose. And
right.
I think that's important, because you can only handle the stress to some extent before forget the physical manifestation and the problems of it.
Right.
You can't maintain that.
No, I agree. And it is important to remember, like, what do I do? I love what you said. What do I do to fill my cup? Because I can't, if I allow my mind, and I know that you'll relate to this, if I allow my mind to just do what it does, I will be,
no good can come of that.
None, zip, zero, zilch, like not productive, not helpful.
But that's a really good point, because I think in entrepreneurship, one of the things I have learned versus corporate, versus having a job. And I did, we're talking, we had very good careers and very good situations. We were very accomplished. However, one of the things I know about entrepreneurship is how much more intention is required around everything. Right?
Yeah. Say that again.
Right? You can't do this in reaction mode.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times at work and corporate, you're in reaction mode because someone else has laid the path, someone else has done the thing, and you're doing as best you can in that path. Right. But as an entrepreneur, you have to be in intention all the time.
Loving what you're learning here and interested in more? Check out our free Facebook group and join us at Conquer Your Business Community to find even more tips and tools designed to help you get out of reaction mode and into conquering your own business.
I love that you just said that, because I just had this realization just this week about the fourth quarter of this year and how it's really kind of hard. It's a challenge, right? To stop today and be thinking 3 or 4 months from now, like, and understanding that what I do today is leading.
Well, and it's so funny that you brought it up that way, because I just did a strategic advisory call for my clients this morning. Because the truth of the matter is the fourth quarter sets the stage for next year. I call this the holy crap time of year. Because, right, in corporate, you start planning for the next year in October. You don't wait till January. And this is the holy crap time of year, because the beginning of the year is filled with it's wide open, anything can happen, New Year's resolution, and then I've got all the time in the world to do whatever the thing is that I want to do this year. And then it becomes May, and now you're like, oh, it's summer. I'm not, and the whole world slows down this year. I think the world just came to a screeching halt in July.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the kids go back to school. The sun goes down before 9 p.m. and we all go, well, hell, I've only got 3 months till Christmas, till holiday break. What happened to everything I said I wanted to do in January? Holy crap, I better figure something out.
Yes.
And people, I find year over year, I've had people buy from me in the fourth quarter that have said no to me all year. I get more of my private clients in the fourth quarter than I get all year.
Wow.
Because of how weird humans are with time.
Yeah, we are weird with time.
And it's because they're not working with intention. They're working in reaction.
It's so true, Erin. So true. And how do we so I don't know about you, but I like block time on my calendar for that.
I do too.
That stuff, right? Because I have to, it's so funny. I think I shared with you before we started recording this, that I had a service line that I was going to launch. I was planning it. I've been planning it all third quarter. Like, okay, in fourth quarter, we're going to launch this, blah, 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 blah. And the funniest thing happened organically and authentically this week. Like, I opened my mouth and it launched. Like, literally opened my mouth and it just launched. And I was like,
oh, where'd that come from? Who's in there? Where did that come from?
And I'm like, well, I guess, the plan was to launch it in fourth quarter. So, we're a little bit early, but not bad, right?
And yeah, and it is and I know the story of what you've launched, and I do want to get into that a little bit about iterations of a business. Iterations of a business. I've had iterations based on failure. Iterations based on divine download, which is often a failure, right?
But you never know if you don't try.
You never know. And what I tell people underestimate the amount of action they have to take.
Ding, ding.
So what have you found? Is your iteration process natural? Like, you do this thing for a living and now you're launching a way to teach other people how to do the thing that you have done so well for a living, which I absolutely, absolutely love, because those things are, so you do medical billing and now you're going to teach other professionals how to be billing advocates, which is such a great, I don't know about you, but if somebody's going to be fixing my medical billing problem, I wanted to be the woman who also teaches the other people how to do it, right? This is a fantastic credential for each other.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it's funny. I love, because that's not anywhere near what I expected to have happen. So when you asked me originally about my plan, I had a beautiful plan when I originally started. It is nothing.
It's still on the refrigerator.
That's right.
I got a magnet on the refrigerator with my now grown child's art from when he was in kindergarten. Yes, got it.
You got it. Because nothing like the best laid plans, I don't know. I think that, for me, okay, so you ask about the iteration of things and how things evolve for me. And I can just share my experience. And really, my experience is I'm doing this thing that I love and I'm really good at. And I am talking about it and I'm, marketing it and I'm selling it, and it's super easy to do because I love it. I could, so when you hear people, when I used to hear people say, oh, what would you do for free that, make it, and literally I say it that way because that's how I heard it. I was like, you're so full of crap. But you know what? They're not. Find the thing that I would do for free. Right?
I was doing this for free for years before I made it a business, because I had a different business that did so well that all the people I was involved with said, screw that. Tell me how you're growing your business. Then that's great that you're helping, grandma, but how are you growing your business? And I would just help them because I love doing it.
Right. Because it's fun and it's easy and it's a real easy lift. We were talking about that too. I've branched out into some consulting work and oh my gosh, I love that. That's great, because it's this nice, easy lift for me and it's a paycheck and it's helping and it's.
And the difference between, there's a few have-to-haves in order to make entrepreneurship work. And one of them I've been talking about lately is you have to have a non-judgmental, honest curiosity, love for humans, or you're not going to make it in a service-based business. You're going to be miserable. But the other thing is, and I have a hard time saying turn your passion into your job and you'll never work a day in your life, because the truth of the matter is my passion will not earn me any money.
Right.
I volunteer at a wildlife rescue. So one of the best pieces of advice came from a mentor that I worked with, Larry Winget, who said, and I'm going to screw up the way he said it better than what I'm thinking of it now, but find what it is that you're absolutely fantastic at doing and exploit it in service to others.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like that is beautiful.
That's when it's easy. It doesn't mean building a business that is easy. It doesn't mean the mindset work is easy.
No.
But that's why you have to be so in love with the thing that you're doing or the outcome you're providing so that you can get through
the summer of hell.
the summer of trauma. Even the good things are traumatic, right? Right. But because I will tell you, in the middle of this summer that has been monumentally stressful for really, really bad reasons and for really, really good reasons, just a lot going on. The days that I was with my group program clients I just love being with them.
Oh, I love hearing that.
What you're talking, that was my break.
Yeah.
My break was getting to help them and seeing them break through their things, right?
Yeah. I love that you just said that. Like it gave me goosebumps because this week when I was hanging out with my people on Wednesday, that's what I said to them. I'm like, this is like my favorite hour of the entire week is to get to hang out with you guys for this hour. It's amazing. And hear all the wins and the things that they're doing. Anyway, it's very cup filling for sure.
Right. And your journey through the muckety muck of getting out of your own way to do what you have to do to technically and tactically grow the business.
Right.
You can only be pulled forward by a desire that's strong enough to matter, right?
That's right. That's right. Because otherwise it would crush, like I wouldn't want to get out of bed.
There I did.
And there it is.
There it is. So I'll ask you one of my favorite questions to ask because I'm a big fan of lessening people's learning curves, right? If all you do is don't do what I did, you're ahead of the game, right?
Yes. Right.
Don't do that.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
And the other thing I love about asking this question, there's not a single successful entrepreneur that I've ever asked this question to that couldn't come up with 700 answers. They're very glib about the fact that it just is how this works.
Yes.
What have you done or not done that made it worse for you? Like abject failures. This was don't do it this way, that we can lessen somebody's learning curve for them.
So first and foremost for me is don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. I waited and waited and waited. And that's the biggest thing that I can think of is, man, if I had been doing this, if I had started this earlier, if I had started doing this, how many more people could I have helped? How much further along would I be? How much happier would some of those years have been?
Yeah.
So that would be my first one. Don't wait, because there's no right.
It's like what they say about having kids. There's never a right time.
Right. Exactly. And so don't wait. And then I think the other thing would be, don't, I don't know how to word this. Don't be afraid of not knowing. Like, don't be afraid of not knowing. Like, I have totally learned in the last 4 or 5 years, like, there's no reason to be fearful of what's coming because there's no way for me to know what's coming. Like, I just don't know. And what I do know is that no matter what shows up, I'll survive. Like,
it's trust. I mean, you've built trust with yourself to know that even when bad things happen or things don't work out, you can figure it out.
That's what I love what you just said. When bad things happen or it's a different outcome. One of my favorite sayings has become, I'm not responsible for outcomes. I'm only responsible for my effort and my attitude. And if I show up with my best effort and my best attitude, then the outcome is just the outcome.
Well, right. And my version of that, and I think it was a Churchill quote, and it's not nearly as lovely as yours, Success is the ability to go from failure to failure with no lack of enthusiasm.
I love it. And if there's one thing we've got, Erin, it's
enthusiasm. I mean, seriously.
Right? Like, and that's the attitude, the enthusiasm, like bring it, right?
Right. And you go through the bad things and you realize you didn't die.
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes it felt like it. But you go through the things and you figure it out.
Yeah.
I know the way that you know that what I can do for a client, I'm 100% confident in. I have no hesitation on what I can do for my clients. You have no hesitation on what you can do for your clients. The unknown part is when we're trying to do something new in an effort to grow the business.
Right.
We launched a podcast. I didn't know how. I have Zoom, a ring light, and a microphone, and my assistant's brother taught her how to use GarageBand so we could make it sound better. Ta-da! Like, this is our favorite saying between my assistant and I, and it's off of TikTok. You can find these videos. Are we supposed to know what we're doing? Oh, okay. Just checking.
I love that. That's
no,
great.
you can't help your clients that way. That piece I have covered. But in turn, I don't wait until I've figured it all out before I start trying a new thing to grow my business.
Right. Right.
Because you'll never figure, it'll change too fast, right?
Yeah. It'll be different.
The only way you can get better at a 90-second thing to landslide by Fleetwood Mac is by practicing doing it. Right? You can only get better at doing the thing by doing the thing.
It. Yes. Yes. And yeah. And just do it. Like,
and it doesn't matter if you have no idea what you're doing, because you know what else? Someone else knows how. Just find one of them.
Oh my gosh. I'm reading this great book, and I'm going to plug the book if you don't mind. Yes, it's called Who Not How.
Oh, I just read it.
Oh my gosh. It is like, so yes.
Yes.
Right?
Who do you need to help you? Not how do you need to do the thing?
That's
when
right.
I was skating, here's a perfect analogy. When I was learning how to skate, I couldn't do most things. I mean, no business, zero business on the ice. But if my coach was skating in front of me, I could do it. Wow. He would just skate in front of me. I'd be 2 feet behind him, following him through the things. I could do 10 times more than when he sat and told me to go do the thing. Mm-hmm. Even though we had practiced it, I just find the person who knows how to do the thing and follow in the path.
That's right. That's right. Problem solved.
Problem solved. There we go. I don't know how to help people better than that. Right. All right. So if people want to continue this conversation with you, God only knows why, but I know. Seriously.
Because we're cool people to hang out with, Erin. That's why.
But seriously, what is the best way for people to find you?
I am on LinkedIn, Nicole Broadhurst. Look me up, connect with me on LinkedIn. That's where I live. That's where I do all of my things. Love talking to people. Come hang out. Like, we just have fun,
What could possibly go wrong?
Right. Nothing.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your insights, your story, your time. You know, I love chatting with you. Hopefully,
I do love it.
Appreciate all these. We've had a good time, but there is so much information that's been packed in there. So
love it. Thanks, Erin.
Thank you.